So, if you find that your child might stick to you, close to you in social situations, or have shown signs of anxiety about starting preschool, maybe consider taking the specific steps to prepare them for their first day. So while you might think, it might be a case of where someone might think of avoiding the topic of school will reduce their nervousness. Children who want to know what to expect in certain situations and practice routines are more likely to feel a sense of stability. So if you are able to prepare them, even if it's weeks in advance, I remember when my son was young, I had a calendar and was preparing him for he used to like to sleep in bed with me. Okay, so he was getting a bit older now, and I was like, okay, now you can't keep sleeping with mummy, you're getting bigger now. So what we did was, I remember at the time, there was about 3 weeks before, I think it was his birthday, I can't remember which birthday, I think it was like 6. And so we put on the calendar, and I said, once you turn 6, you have to sleep in your own bed. And as each day passed, about 3 weeks before, we would kind of cross off each day before bed. So when the day actually came for his birthday and we agreed that he'd now sleep in his bed, he was okay with it. It was me that was anxious and worried that he might come into my bedroom at night, but he didn't. He stayed in his bed, and it worked really well. So if you are able to just find some time, if you can, like a few days or weeks before, whichever works for your child, just to kind of talk to them about what school is, what's going to happen. Find out, it depends on the age of the child, find out if they've got any worries or any concerns. And in some schools and some nurseries, what some of them do, they actually allow you to come in and have a visit beforehand, before the child can see the school, before the child starts school officially. So if you can, discuss with your child what a typical school day will be like, from the morning routines to activities, or even the meals, because in some schools, children don't eat their meals in the classroom. They might have a dinner hall that they go to eat in. So talk to them find out what you can from the school, so you're able to talk to your child and prepare them. So, visit the school before the first day if possible. If you're able to, take a tour, spend time at the playground, read books about starting preschool if that's available to you also. Okay, and it can also be helpful where possible, if you're noticing that your child is developing anxiety about starting school. If you're able to, it could be helpful to inform your child's teacher about their separation anxiety and how it might present in terms of their behaviours. And teachers, especially teachers working with the early years, are really experienced in handling such situations and can offer really valuable advice. So if you can, schedule a meeting to discuss your concerns before school begins. Also, research indicates that skilled teachers can make the transition to school easier for anxious children. And the teacher may potentially suggest strategies that could help, such as engaging your child in specific tasks upon arrival and providing rewards for attendance, for example. And it can sometimes be like really simple things, like, in the morning they might have 1 or 2 children, once they've done the register. I mean, it might be very different now, I'm sure it's all electronic, but when I was going to school, they did the register and then we took the register to the office. It might be something different, but even though just having that kind of routine, they kind of know that they might have a job to do in the morning. It might be sorting out the colouring pencils. That can also help to breed familiarity, which helps them to stay feel a bit more calmer, because they know what to expect. They know when they come into school, they know what the routine, they know what to expect. If possible, if you can arrange a play date with some of your children's new classmates before the first day, that might be helpful, because familiar faces at preschool can help your child feel more comfortable and at ease. When I think back to going to school, especially going to secondary school for older children, there was always that kind of worry, do you know anyone from your primary school who's going as well? Are they in the same class as you? Because you want your children to have that familiarity. If possible, consider allowing your child to bring what we call a transitional object to school. And that can be something really small, such as a small stuffed animal, a photo, or a drawing on their hand, something that makes them feel comfortable. So those kind of familiar items, known as transitional objects, can help to minimize, where possible, any kind of separation anxiety. And they provide like a close sense of closeness when you're not present. Or it might even be something like, you might give them like a hanky or something with like your own perfume or your fragrance or something on it, so they can still smell you and feel a bit calmer. And it's not something that they may need for a long time. They might only need it for the first few days or the first week or couple of weeks of starting nursery school. But it's all of these kind of different tips and strategies that can help to make the process a lot calmer for our children. Where possible, gradually expose your children to short periods of separation to help them practice coping without you. So it can be really, really brief intervals and then gradually increase in the duration. And for example, it could be running an errand or going for a walk while someone that your child is familiar with stays with them. So, you might say, okay, mummy or daddy's just going to the shop. Here you're going to be with grandma, granddad, friend, sibling, whoever the case is, someone that they know. And so, you go to the shop for 10, 15 minutes and you come back, just kind of start getting them used to situations where you may not be there all the time. And then, as time goes on, you can progress to play dates with close friends, or even a full day at a relative's house if or when they're ready to do that. So all those kind of experiences as well will help the child to develop that understanding of being separate from their parent or their caregiver, and that it's not permanent. You will be coming back. If you have got a special goodbye routine, if you can establish one, that would be really great. So, rituals can be really, really comforting. So creating a unique way of saying goodbye when you leave them at school each day, as maybe like a secret handshake, for example, a special saying, or maybe, a specific type of hug, and that can help them to feel a bit more settled and secure. So practice the routine during periods of separation. It could even be when you're putting them to bed at night time. You might do your little secret handshake before going to bed. All those kinds of things again can help with that familiarity and just feeling a bit more kind of comforted.